UEFA's executive committee came out, and I kind of like it when people are reasonable and they come up with stuff that's reasonable and sensible. They confirm that the European Championships will be known as Euro 2020 for branding reasons, even though they're 2021. Got no issue with that. And basically, they reiterated to the leagues, look, we strongly recommend that you guys finish. If you can't finish, then it has to either be because your government tells you, no, it's not safe for you to play. You don't get permission to finish, which again, reasonable, right?
Yeah.
Or because for you to finish means all the security and safety and health and whatever and a million tests that it's just not worth your while to finish. You're going to end up losing more money that, you're going to undermine the financial stability of clubs, which I also think is very, very reasonable.
It's very reasonable. They could have maybe been a bit more reasonable a few weeks ago because they've changed their message. Let's be honest. If you remember at the beginning of April when Belgium said we're going to stop our league, your boy Seferin was not so happy, but I think it's fair. There was a time where we all wanted football. We all wanted it to come back as soon as possible. And we were not really sure about details and the evolution of the pandemic and all of that. And I think it's fair that at least UEFA have adapted their message, their position, and I think that's all great. They were also the thought that we were not going to learn too much about that EXCO meeting on Thursday. And like you said, he delivered what we thought he would and nothing more, nothing less. And that was really good. Now, I think, like I've said to you on Thursday, for me, it's all down to governments and health ministers. They will be the one who decide. Leagues and federation can put everything they want in place and prepare for everything. And we will discuss that a bit more now, country by country. But I still think that eventually it will be a political decision and it will be the right one if they say you can't play until September, October, whatever. We will be all disappointed, but we will have to go with that.
What I liked about it is, it's the thing about UEFA is a little bit like the federal government, right? When they make too many rules, then people complain that they're nosing in and butting in. And then when they don't make enough rules, they're not getting involved, they're not showing an interest. I think UEFA's message, and I think some people really missed what this means. They didn't tell leagues how to finish their season. They said, you know what, if you can't finish and you're going to go and you want to finish your season and award, make your final ranking. You can do it alphabetically. You do it by squad numbers. Do it whichever way you like. The only thing that we ask is that when you tell us which teams are going to play in European competitions next year, you do it based on sporting merit. Yeah. That's all they did. They're not telling leagues, so people were reporting, oh, look, now they've taken null and void off the table. They haven't done anything like that.
Okay.
You can do whatever you want.
Is an unfinished season, so you've played 35 games out of 38. Is that sporting merit?
It's entirely down to the country, and that is the way it should be. Look, I'm going to make the point that if we don't play another minute of Premier League action, Liverpool should be champions because that is the reasonable thing to do.
Yeah.
Like at some point, we have to understand that these rules, the bylaws, all this nonsense, this was not written in an emergency situation. This was written for a different world. I think, based on what we've seen and based on their enormous league, Liverpool are the champions of the 2019-20 season, and that's it, even if they don't play again. Null and void is a stupid term, which you only hear in England, by the way, which means that the season's not valid, and so we wipe everything out. That's nonsense. You don't wipe anything out. The goals that were scored have to stay. And they're leaving it up to the leagues to go and decide what's best for you. It wouldn't be the right course of action, in my opinion, to declare Juventus champions in Italy because they have a 1-point lead. So maybe there you just declare the title vacant. But all UEFA are saying is just give us a list based on sporting merits of what teams are going in the Champions League, what teams are going in the Europa League. Whatever else you want to do, promotion, relegation, champions, hey, it's your call.
I agree. I completely agree with you, and I think we won't see any leagues season that are null and void. At least in the top flight leagues, whatever the country. I can't see that. What we see more and more, Gab, and it's been leaked in papers in France, in England, in Italy, everywhere, is leagues preparing, putting a structure in place. The latest one for the Premier League that was reported this weekend was to start again on June the 8th. and go until July the 27th, again with some sort of protocol and rules to follow and this and that. I'm just going to go quickly. In Germany, for example, they're talking about players wearing a mask. If players have to wear a mask, they cannot play football. I'm sorry, this is not football. Playing behind closed door already is pushing it a bit, but okay, I can see it, and okay, maybe why not? Because there's not too many games to finish. But playing with a mask, what next? You can't touch the opposition. You can't do tackles. You can't do headers because, well, if we start with wearing masks, this is not football anymore.
Look, this is why all those people who raise up the whole integrity of the league argument are just morons. Because if you can play all these fixtures, but you're undermining the integrity of the league if people have to wear masks, if people can't travel. The issue of travel now, well, you might have to give up some of your home games on only certain approved stadiums. Like, I don't know. I want them to go back playing. I hope the situation improves and they can do it safely. But I just don't want to hear anybody talk about integrity of the league anymore. Let's go out. Let's play. Let's settle things. Let's make, rules that seem fair to us. The best. No, but not everybody's going to be happy. And let's try to play. And if we can't play, let's come up with reasonable solutions.
But you agree that if players have to wear, if we make them wear masks, I mean, personally, I don't think players would want to play again if they have to wear a mask, because that would be clearly like...
Let's cross that bridge when we get to it.
This is crazy, right?
Let's cross that bridge when we get to it. If they have to wear masks, I don't know. It doesn't bug me. I'll watch.
It does bug me.
I'll watch Harry Kane wearing a mask, I mean, I don't care. I mean, honestly, we have to get in that mindset that this is an emergency situation. If this is the way it's got to play. But yeah, it's not normal. And so you've already undermined the integrity of the league by playing in these weirdo conditions. We may need to do it, but let's not pretend that this is normal. That Premier League schedule, by the way, that June 8th schedule, that, again, you hear such conflicting information, right? So obviously there's people at the Premier League whose job it is to put out information, from Premier League sources. Everybody seems to agree that they want a 4-week preseason, also to avoid injuries.
Of course.
If you work backward from June 8th, that means, and you have a 4-week preseason of full training, I don't see how you can possibly do that, because you'd have to be back in full training on May 11th in the Premier League, which I simply think isn't going to be possible. So I think that June 8th might be ambitious, unless they want to cut down on the actual full training, which is another possibility. They may have to do that. Again, for me, the best option is, as we have more information, let's just figure out how many more games we can play safely, and let's schedule fixtures that resolve those issues, again, I'm not against the playoff format. UEFA left it open, that they say if you want to do some sort of playoff format to determine promotion, relegation, stuff like that, I'm all for that. I think people should be more open towards that. That, to me, is more accurate than trying to cram all these games in there.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.